Hello. I know, I'm ready for the game. Everyone's like, Mavi, you're not really a football player or football into football. Yeah, I know I'm not a football player. I'm not into football, but I gotta root for my husband's team, FSU. We are going against the Gators this evening. It's the game of the century, Cynthia. She's like, okay, whatever.
Important. If it's important to your husband, it's important.
I know, exactly. And the bangs still haven't grown much. I need to take more vitamins, right?
Or vitamins.
So, I had this cheesy idea and I wanted to bring you along and all of our mamas along. Because I know some of my friends that work in the retail industry have been working hard for many, many, many weeks, getting ready for Black Friday. And I thought to myself, I there's something about the word Black Friday. And I always think about my Sunday school teacher, Esther, who I'm still friends with. She's the one I visited not so long ago in North Carolina. She gave us a heart and she had us go outside and cover that heart up with every trash that we found. Whether it be paper or plastic, or it was like sticks and whatever. And we were like, oh, okay. So we just filled it up. And when we came back into the classroom, we glued it, and then it looked beautiful. It really did. Our trashy works of art looked really pretty. And she said, this is your heart full of sin. And we were like, oh, that's not what we were thinking you wanted us to do. And then she said, but we have the power of going to the throne of Jesus and saying, okay, Lord, forgive me for each thing. And I'm telling you, Cynthia, I must have been 5, and I still remember that lesson. So I thought about, what would it look like if, as moms, we started a new tradition and dedicated Black Friday to telling our children what we've done wrong and what we want to work on. I know it's a little cheesy. I promise I'm not trying to be like, oh, the priest, and the confession and all that. But, one of the things I still remember so much about my childhood is my mom saying, I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm.
And there's times when I have to ask for forgiveness from my son. And I'm like, I know that that's going to impact him later on. So is my idea too cheesy? What do you think?
Well, I think it's a very good idea to revisit a situation if you need to and feel like you can, even if it's years later, because our kids need to realize that we are human, that we are, even though we are, when for a while we are in control, we are their parent and we are looking after them, but we care and give that message that, look, I messed up. I'm sorry, but I have your best interest at heart. And maybe I messed up, but my goal is to love you and help you achieve maturity and achieve the very best you can be. And I think saying those messages, especially together, is going to be important. That's something that you want to lay in a foundation in your child, that, your discipline or parenting, the purpose of it is not to make them miserable, but that you really want their best interest at heart. And maybe you'll mess up. And if you see that, then you can say, gee, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to. Let's back up and talk about this and be someone who is a reasonable person, because I think our God is reasonable. I think our God is gracious and reasonable, and he takes into account that we are made of dust. And that's important. So be that kind of parent. Don't be so up on your authority. You can be authority, or you can be
no, and that's what I mean. Like and I love your idea of also saying, but I also had your best interest in mind. Remember that, and showing the heart. And I even think I love you said the word together, doing this together, which means we're giving them an example to do the same thing for us.
Exactly. That is one of the most difficult things to do, is to humble yourself and say, I blew it. But if your kids learn it from you, it's easier for them to do it too.
Yeah. And I think we live in such a world where we no longer confront ourselves face to face. Instead, we've learned to confront ourselves on social media, which then turns into a war.
Yeah.
You know, I had a conversation with an officer here in Woodstock not so long ago, and he said to me, ma'am, I promise you, I became a police officer. I got myself off of social media because the amount of places that I have been to as a police officer because of social media, it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
He's like, just stay off of it. And this, like, don't, if you're upset, get off of it. That is not the place to be. But, you know, I think by doing this on Black Friday and starting a new tradition, not just going crazy and spending money, but truly saying, you know what, I want to eliminate the nastiness of my heart. Hi, Katie.
I want to say I'm sorry.
Yeah,
we were at the vet yesterday.
You're sorry that I'm allergic to you.
Well, we were at the vet yesterday and a dog barked and he bit me because he got scared. So he didn't hurt me, but he bit me.
Oh,
and so he's probably trying to say, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to hurt you.
Oh my goodness. Well, it's okay, Katie. And hey, it's Black Friday. We're all talking about it.
We're all talking about it. We're all apologizing.
We're venting it out. So mamas, maybe my idea is cheesy. Obviously, you guys, you know, you speak to the Lord and you ask him to give you freedom and how you guide your kids. But I'm going to do this at my home.
Yeah.
And I thought it would be a really sweet idea to encourage other mamas out there to just get rid of the dirty heart, confess ourselves to our kids as well. And if there's maybe even with your spouse, maybe there's something that, you know, we've been holding a little grudge on. Hey, remember when you didn't do this and I asked you to do this? Yeah, I'm still thinking about it because that's what we do as women. We just keep thinking about it.
We tend to hold on to it and we need to let go of it because there's some things that are just not worth the relationship. Just let it go. Let it go.
Yeah. And I read something the other day, oh my goodness, what was it? It was, I think my friend from New York, she said the best time, that's right. She sent it to me on Instagram. The best time to speak to your husband about something that irritated you is when you are calm, not when you're upset. So let's take Black Friday to do that.
Right. And say, when you did, I felt.
Correct.
That's a better way to do it. Saying you.
Exactly.
We tend to do that. And then we start getting mad. So.
Right. Yeah. But again, so join me on our cheesy land, right, Cynthia? It's okay to have some cheese whiz once in a while.
Every now and then.
Some spiritual cheesiness.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'll have a great weekend.
Thanks. You too. Bye.
Okay.